Hello folks, the old deplorable basket case here. So, do you remember a while ago there was a suggestion going around that women who go out at night or in dangerous neighborhoods should wear clothes that cover up their bodies so they don't attract the wrong kind of attention? Do you remember the firestorm of feminist outrage that arose from that is still going on? Well, to go back to the subject of my earlier video, everyone's gone home. The woman in question has been released, charges dropped. Prosecutors found that the rape was a consensual act from all parties involved, and everyone's gone home. Okay. Given the burden of proof needed to prove a rape charge in Dubai, it's a little suspect, but okay, everyone's gone home. That is good. But, and with a lead up like that, you probably knew there was a but coming. But the British government issued a warning. Not because of this case, but it has been reiterated because of this case, that women who go to Dubai should never report rape, because that just gets them in more trouble. The suggestion of a simple safety measure that people can do to protect themselves raised this storm of outrage. An actual official statement that reporting a rape will get you arrested. Have you heard a firestorm of feminist outrage? I have not heard a firestorm of feminist outrage. Can you imagine if this happened in New York and there was no outrage? There was no marching in the streets. Can you imagine that happening if this was in New York or London? I can't. I can only imagine there not being this huge firestorm of feminist outrage over this because we're talking about a Muslim country. And feminists have this bizarre blindness when it comes to actual outrages against women in Muslim countries. As another example, sometime before the liberation of Afghanistan, I say liberation of Afghanistan, not invasion, because most of the men in the army that overthrew the Taliban were actual Afghanistanis. Afghanis? I forget the actual term, but it's not important. Just a little before that happened, a woman was gang raped, and she reported it to the authorities, the Taliban. Now, the three men who raped her, they were found guilty. They were found guilty. Give them that much credit. And the three men each were given a few months in jail. And that young woman was stoned to death for having sex outside of marriage. She was stoned to death for being raped. When I heard that, I was outraged. I know I use that word a lot, but I was seriously outraged. I was so angry, I could not contain it. And I wasn't even a fully grown man yet. I forget how old I was, 15 or so. I was so mad that for days afterward, I paced back and forth, my hands and fists, my teeth clenched. I could not believe that people allowed this to happen in this world. I could not believe that this sort of thing is allowed to happen. And it's not allowed to happen in the West, where there is no rape culture. It is allowed to happen in Muslim countries where there are rape cultures. I say cultures, plural, because there's more than one culture in Islam, and some of them are quite fine. Some of them are very problematic. Some of them are really fucked up. For example, did you know that in Afghanistan today, you are no longer allowed to take someone's daughter as payment for a debt? Not allowed to do it. You were allowed to do that under the Taliban, because that was Sharia law. Because that was allowed in Sharia law. Now, it's no longer allowed. And the great thing about that is that change did not happen because it was forced on the people of Afghanistan. It's actual tribal law now. The tribal elders were from all across Afghanistan were brought together, and they made this ruling. This is an actual change made by people of Afghanistan, because that is happening now because they could not do it under the Taliban. They were not allowed to. They're not allowed to move forward in time from the 8th century to the 21st. I almost said the 20th. And yet, how many feminists are actually in favor of the liberation of Afghanistan? How many feminists actually came out and said, yes, this was a great thing to happen? Yes, in Afghanistan, women are no longer being stoned to death for the crime of reporting a rape. Yes, in Afghanistan, little girls are no longer being taken from their families for a debt. This is a good thing. This is a big, really good thing. And yet, feminists, people who claim that they wish to advance the welfare of women, are absolutely silent about this. And that is why feminism is for shit.